everyone, I'm Sophia with Awaken Catholic, and this is Awaken the Saint. The person we're talking about today is Saint Colette, who was bold enough to create reform in an order founded by two other saints over 150 years before she was born. She was born in the late 1300s in France. Both of Colette's parents died when she was still a teenager, but the abbot of Corbie, whom her father had worked for as a carpenter, took her under his wing, giving her a hermitage beside the church to live in. Colette already had a humble upbringing, living a life of incredible asceticism, having little and wanting for even less. Ironically, her great humility earned her a far-reaching reputation, and people started traveling to Corbie from far away just to speak to her and ask for her prayers. It was during this time that Colette began to have visions. In one of her visions, the heavenly form of Saint Francis of Assisi appeared and spoke to her. Evidently, the Order of Saint Clare, also known as the Poor Clares, had become a little lax about enforcing its rules, and Saint Francis wasn't having it. He commanded Colette to go and strictly reinstate the first rule of the Order of Saint Clare, the vow of poverty. Colette, who had up to this point lived a quiet and unobtrusive life, wasn't sure she was the right person for this job and hesitated to take action. When she was struck blind for 3 days and then mute for 3 days more after that, she took it as a sign that maybe, just maybe, she should take the order St. Francis gave her seriously. Colette went to several convents and tried to begin her mission of reform, but things didn't work out so well for her. It was obvious after several attempts that despite her reputation, she didn't have an actual authority. To remedy this, she went straight to one of France's greatest authorities. At this time, there was a schism in the church, and Peter de Luna, going by the name of Benedict VIII, was treated as the Pope by the French. He was so impressed by Colette that he readily appointed her an assistant and bestowed on her the authority to reform existing convents and found new ones. Now, enabled to carry out her mission, Colette traveled to the convents all across France to do as St. Francis had asked her. Not everyone supported her, of course. Some people thought she was crazy, and some even accused her of sorcery. But she bore the difficulty and slander with patience, and her work eventually bore fruit. By the time all was said and done, she had founded 17 new convents in addition to reforming existing ones. All of this before she fell ill and died at the age of 67. As great as she was, it's worth noting that even St. Colette couldn't bring herself to immediately follow the orders St. Francis had given her. She was afraid, as anyone would be, to take the first step in a great undertaking. But as you certainly may know, the dread of leaving our comfort zone is usually much scarier than the actual task at hand. Once she started on her mission of reform, Colette made great strides, accomplishing her goal and then some. It was when she began to act and follow her calling that she dropped all fears of failure. Saint Colette, pray for us.